Good morning. Welcome to the Celtic Way Morning Briefing Live. I'm Tony Haggerty at a Haggerty 10, and I'm joined today by Aidan Macdonald at Aidan C. Macdonald and Ryan McGinlay at the Ryan McGinlay. Quick quiz, gentlemen. What rhymes with the Celtic Way? I'll tell you what rhymes with the Celtic Way. Champions again, ole, ole. That rhymes with the Celtic Way. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, contributors, commenters, Celtic are the champions, back-to-back titles. Excellent. 2-0 win over Hearts. Wrapped it all up yesterday. Wonderful stuff. Ange Postecoglou and the boys taking the celebrations back to Celtic Park. What a crowd turned up, guys. We'll get into that. But yeah, what a happy Monday feeling that is. Champions again, ole ole. Aidan, smiling, marvellous.
Yeah, superb, Tony. As you were saying, it was a beautiful Sunday, which then transferred into a happy Monday. Couldn't ask for any more, really. I'm sure we'll come on and discuss specifics of the performance, but to see the team finally get over the line after all the hard work they've put in this season, we know it's probably been inevitable for a while, or at least since Celtic won 3-2 against Rangers in the last league game between the two sides that they were going to probably be champions. But to finally get over the line with it was great to see, and the scenes at Parkhead were phenomenal. That's what it's all about.
Ryan, good weekend, was it?
Certainly was. Can't complain. Celtic are champions again. 2 years, two in a row. It's absolutely brilliant. I know we'll probably go into specifics about the performance, but we need to just take it at face value. We've won the league again, and we need to celebrate this because you can never take these for granted, and it's like a highlight of all the work that you've done throughout the season, and it's what they deserve. And I'm glad the players were out enjoying themselves with the crowd. Yeah, it seems like everybody's happy this Monday.
Well, they should be. They should be happy. Celtic champions again, as we say. Now, first and foremost, I'll direct you to the strap line running along the bottom. Subscribe to the Celtic Way website and support top quality journalism covering the club you love. And we've always got a deal for you. And the deal right now is £4 for 4 months of unlimited access to everything that's written on the site, and all for the click of a button. www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. That's www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. And we also say thank you to SENECA. And as everybody knows, the Celtic Way morning briefing is now sponsored by SENECA Medical Group. And SENECA are the #1 hair transplant company in Europe, and they offer innovative hair restoration treatments. And you can find out more about SENECA via the description of this video. Gentlemen, goals from Kyogo and 2-0 win over Hearts at Tynecastle, hand Celtic their second successive title under Ange Postecoglou. Aidan, your thoughts on just winning a title in general?
Yeah, as I mentioned, just when we just first came on there, absolutely delighted, Tony. The sort of culmination, of all the hard work that the team have put in this year. The performances domestically have been phenomenal. Fighting across all fronts. Hopefully, it's going to be a treble, which I'm sure we'll come on and maybe discuss later on today. But yeah, the league, they've just been excellent. Only so far losing one game, 2 draws, one of them which was a really important point at Ibrox. The consistency's been phenomenal. And Celtic are still on course to beat all the records we've been discussing. Despite that draw with Motherwell a couple of weeks ago, they win all their games between now and the end of the league campaign. They'll break all those records, Tony, that we've mentioned, and I'm sure we'll go on to discuss that point and more between now and the end of the season. But in terms of the league, yeah, phenomenal. I don't really know what else to say. Just amazing.
Ryan, your thoughts on winning the title?
I could get used to it. I could honestly get used to it every season. You start the season thinking, right, your bread and butter is winning the league, and in order to get that done is absolutely brilliant. To get it done before the end of the season is even better. It shows you how dominant we've been this season, you would say. We talk about how good last season was, wrestling the title back from Rangers, but this season, in my opinion, has been even better. We've just shown this consistency throughout the season, and we really, really do deserve it at the end of the day. We're getting rewarded for all our hard work throughout the season, and you've just got to enjoy it at this time, and hopefully we've got a treble to come. But there's other records to be broken as well, and I hope the Celtic players and manager, I'm sure they are, but they'll be laser focused on breaking every single record that's available to them, and it will be difficult, but at the same time, it's not impossible. This team's capable of it, so I hope they get it done.
Yes, indeed. Now, Aidan, the game itself, Ange Postecoglou said after it that the players the last 3 or 4 weeks kind of human nature to maybe they're close to that achievement and the performance drops off a bit. I guess that was evident, as he said, the last few weeks, but they got it over the line, didn't they, yesterday? And
they did. No, they did get it over the line, like you said, Tony. And that's what matters. It's very rare that, but maybe probably similar to the semi-final, in that you're not really going to remember the sort of performances in these games unless they're absolutely amazing. Obviously, last season it was a draw up at Tynecastle, wasn't it? It wasn't a particularly great game or a great performance, but they won the league, and that's all it's remembered for. I'd imagine probably when you look back on that game yesterday, 5-6 years plus from now, that's what you'll just see. That was the goals from Kyogo, the goal from O that sort of sealed the title. And yeah, the performances probably haven't been great the last few weeks. We discussed after Motherwell that it wasn't the best outing. Rangers, I probably wasn't as down the performance as some people against Rangers last weekend, but obviously at the end of the day they got the job done. It's all that mattered, and it was kind of the same case of that yesterday. So obviously, I'd imagine Ange only wanted the performance to improve a wee bit, but his comments sort of, when the players are getting so close to achieving something so important, they maybe get a wee bit. I think his exact words were tight in terms of getting a bit nervous about things. That's understandable when you see what's on the line, Tony.
Yeah. Do you agree with that, Ryan, that players get a bit tight and just, willingness to drive it over the line after all their hard work?
Yeah, absolutely. They're only humans at the end of the day. They're going to feel the pressure that even the fans feel, and maybe the pressure that the fans feel then goes on to the players. It's just that sort of energy. But I'm going to allow them it because they got the job done in a really difficult venue at Tynecastle. You know what it's like to go there. And yes, I know we got a refereeing decision for us. These things even themselves out, you would say, but to get it done, to get the league wrapped up in a venue that we lost in our first game last season in the league. So it's great to come full circle and win those sort of games. I think it was real character building yesterday because there was a few things against us, but we still managed to come up trumps and win the league. So no complaints here. If they were feeling a bit nervous or pressured, they got it over the line, and that's the main thing.
Right, I've started a few comments here because, as always, public demands that we read out their comments. So here we go. We'll start with Kirsty O'Connor. Magic Monday's the day, Tony Boy. Indeed. Andrew Galea comes in. Morning, everybody. Morning, Andrew. Morning, Kirsty. Champions again. Indeed. Kirsty saying, morning, guys and girls. What a time to be a Celtic fan. Agree with that. Helen Feeks, happy Monday again. Champions, morning all. Morning, Helen. Scott McGill, morning, champions. There you go. It's one of those kind of shows, isn't it, guys? Derek Crawford, champions again. Ole, ole. Good morning, ladies and gents. Hail, hail. Morning to you, Derek. Michael Ross. Hail, hail, my fellow Celts. Champions again. Northampton Tim, best Monday club in years. There you go. Plunge McNugget. His Angie say the king is crowned again. Champions again. Ole, ole. That's quite a theme there, guys. Champions again. Yeah. Says Thomas Burns. Repeat to fade, as they would say in old-fashioned magazines when you were learning words of songs. And Derek Crawford, 11 titles out of 12 is superb. Personally, never get fed up with winning. What you said at the top of the broadcast, Ryan, that you could get used to it and you would never tire of winning the title. But yeah, performance-wise, maybe not vintage, but remember for three things: the red card, which possibly harsh, depending on what way you think about it, Aidan, and the goals from Kyogo and O. And as I said yesterday, stop me if you've seen Kyogo's goal before, because it's just kind of everything that's great about Celtic, isn't it? Brilliant pass from McGregor, great run from Haggerty, the ball across his face, the near post run, the clip finish. Hey, as I say, repeat to fade. Aidan, number 30 for the season for Kyogo and number 50 in his Celtic career. Excellent. Loved that goal, Aidan, because it was, I thought it was fitting and apt that he did it at Tynecastle for what Ryan said. The first game, Ange took charge of Celtic and Kyogo came on after stepping off the plane, and it was all kind of doom and gloom there, wasn't it? But yeah, tremendous stuff.
Yeah, it was a really good goal, sort of classic Kyogo running across that sort of near post and putting the ball in the back of the net. Hatate as well, picking up another assist was good to see. He definitely looked back to maybe not his sort of full phone best, but definitely an improvement on last week. I thought yesterday that was really good to see. And it was, I think that is kind of nice sort of symmetry what Ryan mentioned about Celtic winning the league at Tynecastle. Sort of almost 2 seasons after Ange's first game, and how much they obviously struggled and how negative everyone kind of was at that time, and rightfully so, given what had happened the sort of previous season before that. So yeah, that was great to see. It was another sort of nice addition to the celebrations, Tony.
Steve McGrory comes in as well. Morning, Steve. How you doing? He thought all was impressive yesterday. Not just his goal, which was excellent. His movement, hold up play, touch were superb. Some are beginning to doubt him, and he's really pleased for O. You agree with that, Ryan?
Absolutely. I've been a fan of O since day one, since he came through the door. I thought it was I really did feel for him after that miss against Motherwell in particular, because it was a big chance. He should be scoring it. But I did see a lot of comments on social media talking, basically writing him off after he's missed. The same thing happened with Giakoumakis. I remember after Livingston. I think his Celtic fans were quite, I don't know, we're quite set in our ways with strikers. They've got to be scoring instantly, otherwise there's a problem. But I'm so glad he scored that goal yesterday, and not to take anything away from that finish. That is a great finish. It's a great ball through from Moy, an absolutely brilliant finish from O, and he absolutely loves it. Right, the big man. The big man's been in about every single photo today and yesterday. He seems to be pals with everyone in the Celtic team as well, which is absolutely brilliant. It's good that he's not shy. He's definitely in and about the team, and I can't wait to see more, both at the end of this season and the start of next season. I thought it was also quite fitting that we had Kyogo and O scoring just days after announcing the Japan and Korea tour, as if here's a look at what you'll see in the summer. Absolutely, but a great wee preview from Celtic.
Aye, that wasn't lost on me either. I thought of all days for the two that we kind of step up to the plate, you know. And just it's just marries into that feel good factor, doesn't it? Now, Aidan, I'll put this in the comments. We're talking about that Tynecastle game. Your old dad did a verdict piece last night, and it's kind of talking about the managerial football shaming that is Ange Postecoglou. And I'm talking about moving any mountains, and the next mountain's a Champions League for Ange Postecoglou. For those that get that reference to the band, the shaming, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And also just Ange Postecoglou himself, he's a managerial sage. But some of his stuff he said yesterday, Aidan, you know, we talk about getting it, we talk about this club getting under your skin, and it clearly got under his skin because he got emotional during the Sky interview, certainly. And this is what he said. Plenty of people in my circle make sacrifices. My family, my kids. I've got the easy bit. I'm doing what I love, but they're the ones which are a constant support. Not just my family, my friends here and in Australia. The whole football club really embraced me from day one. For that, I take pride that I am able to give something back. It's not easy. You've got to put everything into this. It's a great responsibility. Any manager knows the responsibility you bear, especially at this football club. It takes a hell of a lot to get to where we are. So a massive effort from everyone. Yeah, you get emotional as you understand what has gone into it. I did have a moment at the end of that first game against Hearts. It felt like we had a mountain to climb, moving any mountains, as you see, literally. And I had believed I could do something here in terms of building a team. Now, that's what he said on Sky, and he had to pause and compose himself, Aidan and Ryan. But it's kind of the first time that I've really saw that kind of emotion from him in terms of, I don't know if he would have cried necessarily, but he was close to it. It really got to him yesterday in terms of everything that's happened, and I just loved seeing that, Aidan.
Yeah, no, it was really nice, and you could see what he was starting to sort of well up a wee bit, and no wonder. I mean, the pressure that he must be under. So I know we keep going back to it, but it is a sort of relative to what we're discussing in a way. That first game against Hearts, the pressure was very much on that day, and obviously it was coming off the back at that time of getting knocked out of the Champions League as well to Midtjylland, so it was a difficult time. So the fact that he's obviously came out and said, he believed in himself, and I think you were discussing in your piece that you put in the chat, Tony, that potentially at that time Ange was in the minority of one in terms of when we go on to win 4 out of 5 trophies in your second season by playing Champions League football and be on course for a treble, but he believed in that, so that's all that needed to happen, and fair play to him, because everybody was in probably a negative place at that stage, but he remained focused on the prize, and it's worked out superbly. But yeah, it was nice to hear him also talk about his family, and that's the thing, these people are all human beings at the end of the day, and it is a sacrifice. He was also already living in Japan, so and that in itself, that would have been quite a big probably culture shock for him and the family. But then coming over again to the other side of the world, as much as we do speak the language over here, the culture is very different. So no, it was nice that he touched on that, and his family and his friends, and of course praising the fans for all the support. And rightfully so, the fans were in good voice yesterday and at Parkhead, which I'm sure we'll come on to discuss. And the way he was speaking, it doesn't sound like somebody who's going to be going anywhere. I'm not trying to tempt fate or anything like that, but he just sounds in such a sort of positive place right now. And while we're sort of discussing this, I've just put Kevin McKenna's piece in the chat. He's basically discussing how the best is still to come under Ange, and he's of the opinion that he's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I'm sort of that mindset as well, Tony, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, Ryan, I'm going to read this out to you. This is what Ange said to us when we were in the room with him, and he was asked about that first game against Hearts and the result. Could he have envisaged what has followed? And this is what he said. Yes, mate, that's why I did it. I get that others wouldn't. That day I knew we had a mountain to climb, but I knew that before I took the role on, and I wouldn't have taken it on if I didn't believe that I could deliver in the way that we have. It has taken a leap of faith for a lot of people within the football club to trust me and my judgment in many areas. I was very confident that if I had that kind of support, that I would create a team that would make this football club proud, but it would also be hard to stop. I have done that everywhere I have been, mate. That's not me being arrogant. It is just the truth. I have that belief wherever I am. I can create that. That doesn't mean you're comfortable at any stage. And walking off after that first game, I knew that we had a mountain to climb and work quickly, but I knew we would get there. Emphatic as it gets, to be fair, Ryan. I love that. I love that answer. I stopped short of just standing up and clapping. But I was kind of smiling as he said it, and I thought, brilliant. And that's what I'm saying. After that first game against Hearts, he was kind of in the minority of one saying, enough to work with here, I can do this. And he has done it, and fair play to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got to say, as much as I love seeing emotional Ange, it's the bullish Ange that I love the most. See, when he has to come out and basically make a point, he's not going to pull any punches whatsoever. Sounds as if he was in a really confident mood in that press conference, and I like to hear that from the manager because he deserves it. He's done a phenomenal job at Celtic. You look back that first game against Hearts. What were the feelings like? We'd conceded the last minute goal. We were out of the Champions League. And then the form was up and down at that point. Yes, we were getting good results against Dundee, etc. But then we were losing games away from home, and we were like, what's going on here? But Ange always believed. Ange was always so straight in his methods. He never wavered from what he was saying. And it seems as if the players really did buy into that eventually. And I'm now seeing the rewards of that. Look at how good Celtic are just now under Ange Postecoglou. It's absolutely brilliant. And I just couldn't be more buzzing at this point. I'm just so proud of this team, to be honest.
Now the party went back to Celtic Park, Aidan, and again, Ange was given the mic in typical Ange style outside Parkhead. What a crowd turned up! I believe one of our commenters was there. Kaiser was there, I'm sure he was. But this is what he said. So he gets the mic and he was asked a message for the Celtic fans, and he says, "Champions again. I am immensely proud of this team, and we thank you for all you have given us this year. Enjoy today with your families and your loved ones, and celebrate all that is great about Celtic. You deserve it. Celebrate all that is great about Celtic." I think that encapsulates it all, does it not? And I think this season, Aidan, this team, this group of players, this manager, And these times, because they're special times, that's worthy of celebration, because it is everything that is good about Celtic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, seeing those scenes, the colour, the singing, the fans just being happy, it was just brilliant to see. And I know we're also a couple of years on from it now, obviously, but just thinking about that during COVID and something like that wouldn't have been possible. Firstly, because Celtic were pure on the pitch, so nobody would be there celebrating.
Yeah.
And secondly, just because of the environment at the time, it was phenomenal to see. And yeah, Ange he's quite a wordsmith, Tony, isn't he? You've seen him in many occasions. I know you know that personally from his
I
presses
thought I
as
was
well.
a wordsmith for nothing compared to the man at the top.
But yeah, it was the way he was speaking. It was great to see, and that sort of line. That I think, as much as the sort of last season's, champions, that's who we are. Will be getting played again. I think Ange saying that outside Parkhead, and I'd imagine he'll probably take the mic again on Trophy Day in a few weeks' time. I'd imagine that'll be sort of getting blasted across the airwaves and YouTube videos and compilations for years to come. But yeah, no, it was brilliant to see, and obviously that's the last 2 years that's happened now. The fans have gathered back after the teams win the league, and fingers crossed that's going to be a tradition for the next few years as well.
Ryan, you can see all the t-shirts being printed now, can't you? Celebrate all that is good, great about Celtic. You can see it, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Those kind of businesses and whatever, But I just think, you tap into the heart and soul with a comment like that, don't you? And this man's Celtic has been the greatest fit ever for a manager coming from the other side of the world, and he's loving it as much as Celtic supporters are loving what he's doing. But I agree with Aidan. It just doesn't strike me as the words of a man who sees his future elsewhere. He really does want to create something special here, and he's doing it bit by bit. Told us all about the building of the beautiful house. I wrote the piece about the revolution. Now it's the evolution, and I wrote today that now you've got to have eyes on the Champions League now, haven't you? And making inroads into that, and doing something in the European scene. And he was asked yesterday about he said last year come back bigger, better, and stronger. And that's what he said. He said, I said that in Trophy presentation day. He says, that was a challenge to my players. He says, and from day one they walked in the door, he said, I was worried that they might not be as hungry. He said, they were hungrier. Wonderful. That's a celebration of everything that's great about Celtic. This moment in time that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, I think it starts from the top, because Ange is obviously a very, very hungry manager. He's been desperate for this European opportunity for years. He went to Japan to prove himself on a different continent. Now he's in Europe and he's proving it in this continent. And I think he just wants more. I think you are both right. I don't think he is going anywhere. I think the timing of which Ange came for the club and where Celtic were, the timing was absolutely perfect for the two to come together. It couldn't have. It's honestly like a movie. It could be a movie with how perfect it's been. It's an incredible. I hope so. It's an incredible story. And we were talking about the crowds, obviously outside Celtic Park. You think they're big? See, if we win the treble, it's going to be 3 times as busy if we win the treble. And I'm just fingers crossed we can finish that job, because I'm enjoying this tradition of being outside Celtic Park. It's absolutely brilliant, and long may this continue. These are the glory days, and you've just got to enjoy them while they're here. I'm not taking any of them for granted. I feel like I took the last sort of trebles for granted, and if we win this one, I will definitely be celebrating it, because they don't come around too often, and you've really just got to enjoy them while they're here.
Yeah, Aidan, there's still so much that can be achieved this season. 107 points, the goal scoring record as well. 107 points will eclipse the 106 that Brendan Rodgers' Invincible team got. The goal scoring record is 116, which Willie Maley's team of 1915-16 set. But also other things like I asked Callum McGregor yesterday about, he could be a captain that goes through a season unbeaten against Rangers if he avoid defeat at Ibrox next week. And also, Callum McGregor could be a world record holder with 5 domestic trebles. No footballer in world football has achieved that. So you beg a bomb dollar that the Celtic players will be trying to do all these things. Whether they're achievable or not is another matter, but they've got 5 games left in which they can create their own slice of unique football history. some individually, but collectively as a team. And I think it would be fitting for this team if they did register a couple of those landmarks, Aidan.
Yeah, I mean, if they're able to beat, points totals sort of records that the Invincibles team held, that I don't think anybody ever thought would be beaten, really, like ever, potentially, or at least not as soon, less than 10 years later. If they potentially go on and achieve those numbers, then that would be phenomenal. If Celtic beat Rangers this Saturday coming, then I don't think there's any reason why they can't achieve that in the last 3 league games.
Yep.
Obviously, probably the main objective at this point will be the treble, but what you mentioned, Tony, I think it was in your sort of big verdict piece that also went live on the website today about how Celtic going unbeaten against Rangers in a seasons is sort of own wee mini accolade in itself, something that's not happened, I don't think, since the 17-18 campaign, so it's been a few years. That would be another sort of nice wee thing to add to the shining. If they win that game, and obviously win the remaining league games, they'll beat points, goals, and I think is it the most ever wins in a modern day season as well. Obviously, relative to back in the day, they may have played less games, but in terms of since it's been the sort of 38 game season, it would be a record. It's just amazing numbers, and if they do all that and clinch a treble, then I don't know what we're going to talk about, Tony, in terms of trying to praise them. To be honest, it's going to be a struggle for you trying to get 1,000 words out of that sort of every.
Trust me, I will. Don't worry about that, Ryan. These are the times, as you say, special times. You celebrate them all. You never take them for granted. You enjoy them. But these are these kind of wee mini milestones now that I would have thought is now the challenge for the players. It's easy to say, there's 4 league games left, titles wrapped up, take your foot off the gas, or, and take it easy before the cup final. Nope, I think Ange was sort of saying yesterday, there's no been ourselves for the past 3 or 4 weeks because the title was in sight. They're human, that kind of stuff. It got a wee bit tight. Shackles are off now. Let loose. Whatever team plays, just go and enjoy your football. Play like champions, and the rest should follow, because there is quality, as Ange said, in that dressing room. They're all talented players.
Yeah, talented players, and it seems Ange yesterday was talking that they're really good people as well. He always talks about that when he was signing players, that he signs people as well as players. And you can really tell that even from all the Instagram posts from all the players, they're all getting on. It's absolutely brilliant. But I think these next 3 or 4 games, there's players in that team that'll be hungry and desperate to make an impact that maybe haven't made as big an impact as they would have liked this season. These are 3 or 4 games that they could use to force their way into a cup final squad, because at the end of the day, there's going to be 11 players on that pitch on June the 3rd, and it's up to them to show to the manager they're worthy of playing in that game. So the gauntlet's been passed to them or thrown to them. They need to take it with both hands and take their opportunity. So I don't subscribe to the whole dead rubbers or whatever. These are still big games that we want to win in order to break records. So I think they should be going all out to try and get as maximum points as we can get in those games.
Couldn't agree more, Aidan. I used the phrase last week about the Glasgow Derby being a dead rubber in terms of if Celtic wrapped up the league. It's never a dead rubber when you play Rangers, but it matters more to Rangers, I think, and in your desperation to claim points and lay down some kind of marker, sometimes you can get, sidetracked by that. I just think that it's a wonderful situation for Celtic to be in, to go there, no fans, as champions, and turn it on and show why they're champions. And as Ryan says, if some of those fringe players get the nod, so be it. They will be hungry to play and to show and showcase what they can in the next 4 games to maybe stake their claim for a cup final place, because it's all up for grabs at the minute. Treble is well and truly on, but I think Celtic should pedal to the metal, as they say, the next 5 games, and just be relentless and go to Ibrox and pick off Rangers again and go through the season unbeaten against Rangers and see where it takes them in terms of the points tally and the goals tally. But I think they're very capable of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you say, there is no such thing as a dead rubber in these games, Tony. I know what you meant, obviously, and that you're not going there in terms of it's not really going to affect your sort of trophy haul come the end of the season, this game, but also that they are always competitive, and the pressure's pretty much on Rangers, to be honest. They're the ones that have to go out there and get a result in front of their own fans to try and sort of get a bit of momentum for the next campaign. You know, the manager's coming out saying that half the squad's leaving, so-and-so is not good enough and all that. And whereas Celtic are going there as champions in a good place, and obviously drew their 2 each at Ibrox sort of in the first half of the season. So I think that'll probably be the only ground in Scotland Celtic haven't won at in this campaign. So that's probably another thing to try and go and tick off the list in itself. If they go there and play at the best of their ability, I've got no doubt they can get a result. I know it'll probably be the toughest, I would imagine, of your sort of post-split matches. But if you're able to go out there and maybe put on a bit of a better performance than they have the last few weeks, back to the sort of free-flowing best, maybe before the international break type thing, or since probably before the international break, then I'd imagine he'll be able to go out there and get a result. And like I say, Kyogo, in terms of like individual goals for himself, you know, he's 2 off Henrik Larsson's 7, which I believe is a modern record for goals against Rangers, or since these sort of things have been recorded. So if he's able to get a couple of goals in that match, it would hit 7. I know that's probably a bit of a big ask, but just in terms of the wee sort of individual records that are cutting about, when you're quite close to getting them, it's always worth discussing.
Ryan, that game yesterday, I mean, individual performances, thought McGregor was excellent. O was good when he came on, but Kyogo just buzzed around and got his reward for that. You know, running all the time and just occupying defenders. Thought Kobayashi did well after a couple of early shaky moments, that kind of thing. Still think Hatate's getting up to speed, but still made a wonderful run to get onto Callum McGregor's pass. I'd say it was a Callum McGregor midfield masterclass, to be fair. So, yeah, I mean, there was 3 or 4 that were okay. I mean, my marks reflected on the fact that Celtic got the job over the line, basically. So I got a couple of people saying I was a bit generous with my player ratings, but I was giving Celtic the benefit of the doubt on that one, that they steered it over the line, Ryan. So, yourself, were you impressed with anybody in particular yesterday?
See, to be fair, I think I'm always impressed with Cal McGregor. I think if he goes below a 7 in a game, I'm quite concerned, because he's just a metronome in that midfield. Just keeps us ticking the whole game. In terms of other ones, I thought Kobayashi was good after a couple of slack passes. Yeah. Kyogo obviously gets his goal. I thought Starfelt was okay as well. I thought a lot of his defending in the first half was good. He's always going to win headers whenever the ball's high up in the air. He's so dominant in the air. Let me think, who else? I thought Moy was good when he came on. Obviously, get the assist for O's goal. It's good to see him getting back to his sort of best, because I saw people were writing him off as well. I'm like, he needs game time. The problem is, though, at the moment, we can't have any passengers. If somebody has to get back to fitness, he's going to have to spend his time on the bench for a wee bit. But he came on and got a good assist for O's goal. But yeah, I think just in general, I was impressed with O. I was impressed with his whole build-up play and another really good finish. Definitely more to come from him, and he's only 21, so the sky's the limit for him, I would say.
Aidan, big talking point as well. Jota taking out Stephen Naismith and Ange, doing the old VAR.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
You guys like a bit of that on controversial circumstances. You've done it when you're all da here a couple of times. But there you go.
No comment, Tony. No comment.
But that was a comedic moment during the game. Jota wasn't chuffed, was he? To be fair, he wasn't having Naismith's apology at all. But
no, he didn't look very happy, to be honest. And I think when it was actual, the whistle was blown for half time, Callum McGregor was just like, right, just get in the tunnel here. It was a bit of a comedic moment, to be honest. And Ange doing the VAR thing was quite funny. I feel that'll be sort of getting clipped and probably used regularly on across Twitter and other social media platforms, sort of a reaction to certain things. I know I'll be using it anyway. I've already got it clipped on my phone, so but that was a sort of comedic moment, Tony, and it broke up a wee bit of the tension, which was good.
Yeah, correct. I think you'll be getting clipped up like the Cameron Carter-Vickers one, when he put that stray pass and he just kind of, we all know that meme, yeah. But excellent. Nah, I guess you do kind of run out of superlatives at times for this Celtic team in terms of describing how you're feeling and the way they've played. But we have to remember there are 4 games to go. It's just great to be in that position, and they will be playing Inverness Caledonian Thistle in the Scottish Cup final on June the 3rd, an Inverness Caledonian Thistle team who will not have any competitive games until then. So don't know how that will affect them, or if that's an advantage to Celtic, which at this moment in time you think we don't need any more advantages because they've got a quality team. But yeah, I mean it's going to be exciting the last few games, isn't it? Because you want to see what Celtic team will turn up in these last 5 games, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm interested to already see what sort of lineup we go for on. I think is it Saturday we play Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what sort of changes he makes. I mean, I know it's a bit too early for predicted lineups, but why not give O a chance up front? I think he's deserved it. He came off the bench and scored the goal. I want to keep Kyogo as fit as possible for the cup final, so use his minutes sparingly. Yes, I know he's got records to clinch against Rangers, but he could do that off the bench. But I'd love to see O get a chance. I think he's deserved it. His hard work's paying off, and yeah, I just want to see him succeed because he seems like such a great guy off the pitch. So I want to see him succeed just as much on the pitch. It's just like we're just in a really good place just now, and I couldn't be happier.
There's a predicted 11 spoiler alert from Ryan, an early warning shot.
I'll change my mind by the time Friday comes.
Indeed, he's wanted to drop a guy that's got 30 goals this season, Aidan, 2 away from Henrik Larsson's record of 7 against Rangers one season, and has got 50 goals, career goals for Celtic. Yeah, let's rest him for all. Hey, there you go. It's all about opinions, Ryan. You're allowed that. Like that's what's called a hot take, Aidan. Is it not?
I think it is. It's bold. I mean, it keeps the lineups different, Tony, which is we know sometimes can be a bit of a challenge. So I'm quite happy with that. If he wants to sort of nail the marker down, I'm all right with
that. Yeah, indeed. But it's just great to go into a Rangers game this Saturday where the shackles are off, no pressure, don't need a result, and sometimes that's a great mindset to be in, isn't it? You can go out and just play your football, bring our brand of football, as Ange calls it, to the table after being a wee bit tight, as the manager said in the past few weeks, knowing what's at stake. So I'm really looking forward to seeing exactly what Ryan says. Well, what team the manager picks too, and how those players react to the next 4 games, because I think it could, I think it could get better. I think they could end up playing better in the next 5 games. Could be wrong on that, but there's just lots of wee things that Moy coming back, Hatate getting there in terms of fitness, Kyogo still hungry for goals, O's contribution yesterday. Looking forward to seeing it all, Aidan.
Absolutely. I mean, even though technically these sort of games are not going to be deciding the league or anything, I'm still excited to be seeing the team as much as possible. Some people might argue that the only real competitive game you've got left is the cup final, but as we know, there's no dead rubber games against Rangers, and there's all sort of records to play for. Even something as simple as the day Celtic get the trophy against Aberdeen in a few weeks' time, you always want to put on a show in that game, as the sort of team have in the past. I think it was 6-0 against Motherwell last season, which was probably one of the best performances of the whole campaign, despite it being at the end. There's all sorts of reasons for the team to keep performing, and fingers crossed they will. I reckon, I do agree with you, Tony. I think they will probably play a bit better than they have now that the shackles are off. Obviously, the cup final, that will be, we know Celtic are favourites going into it. I don't think it's unfair to say that. There will be a stressful element, at least, hopefully, till Celtic get the first goal, because, it's a cup final at the end of the day. There's a lot on the line, but in the league games, I would hope that they will play a wee bit more freedom. Maybe we will see people like Awata, players like that, Rocco Vata. I know Ryan did last week a piece on the site just talking about maybe fringe players that might get an opportunity between now and the end of the season. We could see more individuals like that. Guys like Turnbull maybe come back in. I think this Saturday, will probably be quite a strong team, but maybe the 3 league games after that, we will sort of see players that maybe will be looking ahead to being involved next season, which is always exciting as well.
Ryan, there's partly doesn't want the season to end, eh? There's just been a big smile on your Chevy Chase the whole campaign, really. You know what I mean? So it's when June the 3rd comes, and obviously Celtic will be going for the treble that day, and what will be. But I'm like, no, I don't want the season to end. It's just like, just enjoy watching this football team.
Yeah. For me, Celtic is just, it's so stereotypical or so predictable, rather, but Celtic's just, that's my hobby, it's my thing. And when Celtic isn't on, I miss it. I'll be the day after the cup final. I'll be like, right, how many days until pre-season starts? How many days do I have to suffer before Celtic come back and I've got something to talk about again? And do you know, I'd be like that even if it was a bad season. But the fact that it's been such a good season, it makes you want. You never want it to end, but you've just got to enjoy these times when you do, when you can, and then we go again for next season. That's the thing. It's just we never stop, as Ange says, and we just go again next season, and that's what I like about it. Fresh start, and we go and try and get our objectives, and we'll take on Europe again, and hopefully we'll go and get more trophies next season. But we've just got to enjoy the remainder of this season while it's here, and yeah, these are the good times. So just enjoy them and bask in it.
Aidan, I'm looking forward to Ange's coded message on trophy presentation day. Told the boys to come back bigger, better, stronger. That was his challenge, and he said they would. And they won a double last season. They're on the cusp of a treble this season. So how do we top that? Surely he's going to mention European Football Champions League or something of that ilk in his kind of trophy presentation speech. You see, we can decrypt and decode that. But listen, I think, as Ryan says there and we've spoke about today, just the future looks bright, doesn't it? Let's be honest. If this man's at the helm and you can keep the nucleus of this team together and bring in some more quality players, you're really optimistic about the future, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been an improvement this year, definitely, in terms of the performances, and we know about I feel I mention this sort of every week, but we know the Champions League was a wee bit disappointing. They need to be better in Europe, more clinical, and I think Ange will mention that in his speech, Tony. And I imagine he's probably writing it down now, thinking how I'm actually going to say something different. And part of that probably will be the European aspect, and hopefully, with recruitment, etc. In the summer, that'll take up to a level, getting a few players out the door off the wage bill, improving maybe in a couple of positions. We don't need to go into specifics of that because there'll be plenty of time to discuss. But I think if Celtic sort of do that, then hopefully they will be best placed. I think it's worth touching on no Champions League qualifiers again, which is massive. Just been able to go straight in. You can actually have a proper pre-season, more time to work on the training field with the players. Obviously, I don't think it's a coincidence that Ange had that sort of season we're in right now at the beginning of the campaign. That was the first time Celtic had that for something like 10 years, and this is potentially going to be one of the best domestic seasons ever. I think having that extra time on the training pitch, proper preparation, your first competitive game being the first league game of the season, as it always should be, in my opinion, if you're champions.
Yeah.
It is a real good thing. So I think we should enjoy that, because I know with the sort of UEFA format changing, not next season, but the following, it's maybe not entirely clear how everything's going to shake out. So I think it is just worth enjoying the fact no stressful Champions League qualifiers in the summer, and the season just starting for the Premiership campaign for 23-24.
That is a huge thing, Ryan, isn't it? No Champions League qualifiers. We've came a cropper in that before.
Yeah, and it gives us the opportunity to go to far off regions that we wouldn't, because we would be preparing for qualifiers. Yes, I know we're going to Europe for a week as well, but we're then going to Asia in the form of Japan and South Korea, respectively. That's going to be brilliant. It's going to be an eye opener for so many players that have never been to that part of the world before. It will be like, look at how big Celtic are, and even recently with the expansion, with the amount of Korean and Japanese players in the team, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. And you can't do these things without being successful and then getting into the Champions League group stages, because if we had to negotiate qualifiers, we wouldn't be able to go to Asia. So it's like a literal success. It's a reward for your successes through the season, that we can go to these far off places and prepare while other teams are preparing for qualifiers.
And the manager stressed the importance of Aidan getting into the Champions League group stages for those 2 years that Celtic have won the title, because it was automatic entry into the lucrative group stages, and that's bearing fruit now, isn't it? That Celtic have done the business by winning the title and afforded themselves that luxury of embarking on a tour to Japan and South Korea, and they've not had to cobble the team together or do stuff before the Champions League qualifiers, akin to when Ange first came into the club.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just such a positive position to be in, and I'll be honest, last summer I was struggling to get used to it. I was starting to see the sort of games like, I know the sort of earlier rounds, apart from the Celtic one involved, they weren't always on television, but sort of games popping up, you're seeing teams like Sarajevo and that, etc. You're expecting Celtic to be involved in that, but thankfully we weren't. And yeah, it's just that it does give, as Ryan was saying, a chance to go to places like Japan, South Korea, and expand the sort of brand, all that sort of stuff, and just the players getting a proper break, firstly, which they do deserve, particularly somebody like Callum McGregor. I know he was injured for a spell this season, but he still played a lot of football. He's also getting a bit older. I know he'll be away playing for Scotland, but he'll be able to get a proper break. And then sort of you come in pre-season, you can just build yourself up in that first competitive game as being sort of the title, for Flag Day. Being Flag Day is a big deal. That sort of puts a wee bit of extra emphasis on that. That's the first competitive match of the season. So, it's all positive, and I'm just enjoying the Champions League qualifiers because they were the bane of my life, to be honest. I never enjoyed any of them. Even the ones we got through, and they were just always stressful.
Ryan, I think last summer we all plotted Jota's holiday, didn't we? And that was where our summer pre-season was taken up with asking where's Jota today until Jota Day when he actually signed, which I believe was July the 1st, wasn't it? If memory serves. So yeah, he enjoyed a kind of Harlem globe-trotting summer, didn't he? Going all over the place, and I think that was your form of your qualifiers, wasn't it, Aidan? Where's Jota today? What part of the world is he in? And
yeah, that replaced the stress, don't it? That did replace the stress. I don't know what it's going to be this summer. No doubt there'll be something.
There'll be something, yeah. And it was quite stressful because a lot of Celtic supporters were, on tenterhooks or whether he would sign or not. Thankfully, he did, and obviously Celtic have won the title again with Jota and the team alongside Cameron Carter-Vickers. But he was announced earlier in the summer, wasn't he? So, big wait for the Jota Day, as they say. So, go on, Ryan. On you go. Sorry.
Trust Jota to make a show out of everything. That's just the guy he is. That's just the way he is. And do you know what? He might as well be consistent with everything.
I think that's what it was. He just liked the big entrance, wasn't it, Aidan? The big announcement.
It was a dramatic entrance. I mean, I think everybody remembers at the time the sort of things about, he's going to sign this day, he's going to sign that day, and it was just, it probably was starting to do my nut in a wee bit. Just I was starting to think the worst. And I know he was in New York, I think it was. He was
playing football with guys 5 or 6 or something, wasn't he?
And he had the strip on. But like I say, Tony, despite there not being any Champions League qualifiers, and at the moment it doesn't seem like there's going to be a stressful sort of transfer thing. No doubt there will be some, because there always is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the remaining part of the season. Players getting a bit of a break and then coming back for the sort of pre-season campaign. We'll have the excitement of the tours of South Korea and Japan. We know Celtic already playing Wolves, but there'll be other matches to announce. Potentially, there's been rumours about Bayern Munich. I'd imagine there'll be at least one J-League team, if not two, in there. So no, it's all exciting times.
Excellent. Well, guys, that's 48 minutes on the champions again. Ole, lady, can it be took? Thank you. It's wonderful. Thank you to everybody that's commented. Hope you enjoyed the show. We have been smiling the whole time, haven't we? Just can't get enough, as they say. Indeed. Now I'll just direct you to the strap line running along the bottom, and you can help us support top quality journalism covering the club you love. A deal £4 for 4 months for unlimited access to everything that's written on the website. Click of a button, guys, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. That's www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. We also say thank you to SENECA, and as everybody knows by now, SENECA they sponsor the Celtic Way morning briefing, and you can find out more about SENECA via the links in the description of this video. They are the #1 hair transplant company in Europe, and we say thank you to SENECA for their sponsorship. But all it remains to me to say is, guys, hope you've had a champion weekend, and it continues today. Aidan, thanks for your contribution today. First class, as always. Ryan, thank you. We love a hot take. We love that. That's wonderful. Thank you for all your comments as well about the show and just about Celtic in general. We appreciate it. I keep saying it and I keep banging on about it, and I will bang on about it. We've created a wonderful community on the Celtic Way. morning briefing here, and we value every one of you for your contribution in the comment section and also for your subscription as well. So thank you for that. We'll do it all again tomorrow, guys. We'll probably just go over it all, but who cares? It's wonderful, isn't it? Countdown to the final Glasgow derby of the season at Ibrox on Saturday. We're getting in the best frame of mind, aren't we, guys? What better way to go into Ibrox and champions again? Ole, ole. See you all tomorrow. Take care.
Cheers, guys.